Hey y'all, it's Big back, and I just recently started reading Kingdom, and I was very hesitant at first because I wasn't really sure what I was getting into, and I just recently heard about it from a certain video I watched, and it really intrigued me, and it's been a real joy. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm really enjoying the characters, the world building, the action, the choreography is the artwork is just next level. I love how even though it's about a battle manga, is very grounded, and but still the fights are still spectacular, and I'm just really loving taking each chapter and enjoy and take it all in, and especially on the binge, it's very great on the binge. Now, what is Kingdom about? To put it simply, it's about a boy that wants to be the greatest general under the heavens, and you see his progression, and you meet a very colorful cast of characters throughout his journey, and it's just complete warfare, and and it's just top notch, and you really get invested in the characters involved in every battle, and you really take in the scenery, and just and enjoy the ride really. First and foremost, let's pour one out for Hugh for being a real one, and even after his death, he has a presence felt throughout the story. And as much as I was looking forward to he and Shin's rivalry, the twist that we got was very impactful, and it just gave Shin even more motivation in the world to fulfill his dream. Shin is a very typical protagonist, reckless and hot headed, but still his own is very much his own character, and though he's simple minded, his ambition is very vast. He intrigues a man that passes by during one of him and Shin's duels, and later this man ends up coming to their owners and wants Hugh to join the royal court. Though he's hesitant at first because they won't grant Shin's freedom, he ultimately agrees after a conversation with Shin. After Hugh leaves, it's business as usual for Shin. He's going through his normal day, and one day he overhears a group talking about what is basically going to be the conflict in this first arc. The king's brother has decided to make a move and try to take the throne, and this is very dangerous for anybody in royal court, and by the time that news even spread throughout the country, probably many members were already taken out, and of course this angers and worries Shin. That night, as Shin's thinking about Hugh, he gets a knock on the door, and it ends up being a very wounded Hugh. As his dying wish, he wishes for Shin to go to a certain place and continue to fulfill both of their dreams of becoming the greatest general under the heaven. At first, he's overcome with emotion and angry, but of all people, his owners are able to talk sense into him and remind him of Hugh's dying wish. He's been honing his skills for many years, even with the wooden sword, and he's able to take down a group of villagers and a very experienced assassin. During his fight, he is admired by a villager named Tien, who's from that same village of thieves that attacked Shin, and he ends up going on the journey with them after he sees his skill and determination. They make it to the destination where they actually find the king himself, Issei, who looks identical to Hugh. And of course, this angers Shin as he realizes that he was just brought into the royal court to just be a body double. Though outraged by the king, he still decides to go on the journey and become the sword of the king. Issei decides to get assistance from the mountain people to take back the throne. On the way, they're attacked by another assassin, Muta, that was hired by the king's brother, Sekyu. It's a tough battle for Shin, but with the help of Tien, he's able to defeat him. After defeating Muta, they're met with the king's remaining soldiers and his right hand, Shubonkun, I believe. I'm really work on that. He was presumed dead after a fierce battle with Uki, who ends up taking a disfigured head to Sekyu and his advisors to basically just exchange for Shubunkun's land. But in actuality, Shubukun just fell off the cliff and survived and was able to meet up at the rendezvous point. A soldier named Heki tells Shin of Hugh's heroics before his death, and this just motivates Shin even more to get better and surpass Hugh. Those Shubunkans hesitant to work with the mountain people after them and the people of Quinn's hundreds of year history. He ends up deciding that's the best bet for the king. Moving through the mountains, they end up encountering the mountain warriors, and Issei is taken to the mountain king, and Heki, Shin, and Tien end up going after him, but immediately captured. At first, they're just prisoners of the mountain people, but eventually they're brought in the room with Issei and the Mountain King with their heads ready to be chopped off. During his meeting with the Mountain King, who basically breaks down the history between the mountain people and the people of Quinn, The Mountain King wishes for Issei to burden hundreds of years of hardships and sacrifice himself, but this is when we learn just how great the king's ambition really is, as he wants to unite all of China. He understands how near impossible such a task is without sheer force and rivers of bloodshed, but especially with the help of the mountain people, he feels like he can achieve his dream. The Mountain King eventually agrees to work with Issei and the others, and then they're revealed to be a woman named Yotanwa. As they head to the capital, they decide to disguise themselves as mountain people and decide to try to make it seem like they want to form an alliance with Sekyu, and then just hit the jump on them. Once they arrive, though, only 50 men are allowed in, and then once they reach a certain point, they have to relinquish their weapons. But before that even happens, Issei draws first blood and the battle starts. Shin leaps over the wall, and this allows him to let the others in, and then they split up into a small group to go after Sekyu and the Chancellor Ketsu. A few mountain people chasing after the Chancellor end up getting shot by crossbows by Shi's army, and he seems to anticipated that the mountain people were not there to form an alliance. On the way to the throne room to face Sekyu and make him relinquish the throne, they're met with Saiji and his army. It's a struggle for Shin, but with the help of Heki, who gets a very bad slash, he's able to take down the so-called strongest in the world in gorgeous fashion. Outside, dealing with Shi's crossbows, Yotanwa and the other mountain people decide to keep trucking forward, and while they're occupied with Yotanwa and the mountain people, Shi's crossbow group is blitzed by the three mountain people that were presumably dead, and this is able to give the mountain people time to continue forward. As they make their way to the throne room, they're met with the last battle with Rankai, Sekyu's basically pet or just killing machine that he found on the black market. It's a collective effort from Shin and the mountain people, and especially Bajio, who was a standout. They're able to make Rankai submit, and this forces Sekyu and Ketsu and the rest of the royal court to try to escape. Ketsu and the retainers are trying to bust through the door, but they're blitzed by two Oki's right-hand man. Ketsu continues to try to flee, but Ten's able to shoot him down, and then the three mountain people are able to take his head. Able to escape the chaos, Sekyu makes outside, and he belittles Shi for his efforts, and then he's met with Issei. For some reason, Sekyu thinks he can take out his brother, but Issei handles him with all the ease in the world, and he's able to take back the throne. This was a very enjoyable ride, seeing the characters go on this journey and seeing the drama, the intrigue is, and the fact that it's the first arc just gets me excited about what's in store for the future. But y'all let me know what you think of the first arc of Kingdom and how you feel about me reviewing Kingdom, and are you looking forward to it? Let me know in comments and I'll catch y'all later.